Hey, welcome back. This is the episode or season
14 recap.
14 recap of the Suddenly Sentient. I'm here, your host Tyler Crump, here with my co-host Jason.
Jason Conforto, good to be here.
Thank you. Welcome, and of course our guest from this season,
Sonia. Good to be here.
Yes,
Time. I like how Sonia raised her hand. but I'm the one who's Sonia.
Over here.
You're wondering, it's me.
It's me over here.
Sonia.
Do it, lady.
Oh man, I've been saying so much in sign language this whole time. I didn't realize
They're not catching
got picked up.
Yeah, none of it got picked up. Sorry. So we, as you guys know, those who are listening, of course, on these episodes, we like to talk about the things that we did using artificial intelligence, what things worked for us, what things didn't. This is Sonia and Ty's first time being on our podcast, so we always like to get some feedback from the individuals, just how they felt about it, using
This
it.
may be their last time, too, depending on our reviews and,
and
and comments on this one.
Please,
So,
please like, subscribe.
Please like and subscribe.
I've invested hard into this. Everything's riding.
If this doesn't work out, I don't know what
I
happened.
don't know what I'm going to do after this. So, Ty, let's start with you, actually. Let's start a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your feelings working with it, or things that went well, what didn't. Let's go all the way back to even character creation for you.
Yeah, it's even just in and of itself, it was really fun, like using AI to kind of guide like the character creation, which I feel like it went pretty good for the most part. Like it didn't like totally. I mean, some of its suggestions were like, but like it would give like good suggestions, so we were never like stuck with anything. And it was fun, and like kind of helped me. I guess one thing that's good about it is like if there's a certain character I might kind of default to, this can help kind of pull you out of that to explore a different kind of character, and things like that, which is cool. Yeah,
I've never created a character quite like what we did.
This was very strange.
I have never been a book.
You've never played as a book?
No.
Sonia, how about you? What are your thoughts through the character creation process?
I just remember I love the fact that you could ask AI to give very strong opinions.
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing so hard with some of the rugs, hang-ups.
Yeah, it's fun to get those definitions, right?
Yeah. And same with what Ty said. It took me out of the, picked a character for me that I wouldn't normally play.
Sure.
Had some backstory that was very interesting. So it was fun.
Yeah. I was actually hoping deep down inside that you were going to side with the wizard.
I know. Torn.
She's like, ooh, do I side with the wizard or my husband who's giving me this look right now? He's like, if you kill me in this episode, I'll be whatever. Jason, thoughts about it from you?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. Question for you. Did you come up with the object ideas and then have Alex kind of guide you through that, or were you brainstorming and Alex came up with the ideas there? The
idea for these sentient objects was actually part of a brainstorming piece as when Alex and I were working together. I asked it for, I was like, hey, we're doing some things. We've got some themes that we've already done before in the past, and it gave me some different ideas. I think that so many of them were just like, oh, that's kind of like some things that we've done before. Someone was like, well, actually, so what I did with ChatGPT is I actually linked it to our podcast.
Oh, nice.
And I said, here's the link to our podcast. Try to not do something that we've done before. So, it went through and it looked at the episode descriptions, and then
it wasn't listening to the episodes.
I don't think it was listening to the episode. I think it was actually just looking at the descriptions that were listed on the website that I linked it to, which was just the podcasts. I think it was just like Apple Podcasts.
You can say the whole website so other people can.
Well, this one's podcast.apple.com/us/podcast/adventure-AI-AI-AI powered.
Google us.
No, it was a long URL. I just copied the one that's like when you search for Adventure AI on Apple Podcasts, you'll be able to find it. Which, by the way, like, subscribe, and leave a comment and share with your friends. But it gave me some different ideas, like a masquerade, or some things that were similar, or even the ones that we've done in the past, or one that it talked about one here where like another space-ish themed one, which I was like, we've already done that. There was one like with like a maze, which mazes I think would be super hard to do.
Yeah,
on like
I know.
audio only
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Do you want to go left or right?
left? Okay.
Very interesting choice.
Yes.
Now, do you want to go right or left?
No. Now we're back to where we were. Are you sure? I think I went
no,
left.
Draw it
right?
out. Draw it out. Draw it out.
And I don't trust Alex to keep track of where we are in the maze.
Yeah, so I did get a few that were interesting. I had one that was this is where it kind of came to is I had the Chrono Criminals one, which was always time. Alex likes to do, or ChatGPT likes to give like time suggestions. We always get like time travel and things are always mixed in with some of our things. But the one that kind of like prompted it was one where it's called Puppeteer's Paradox. So it says the theme is the players are sentient puppets in a world where the strings of fate are literal. They seek to cut their strings to gain true autonomy.
How do you? It's really easy to write the phrase "the strings are literal."
Yes,
But what is that?
I don't even know what that even means.
Like, wait. The strings of fate are literal.
Yeah.
like what? Like,
Yeah. Who knows?
No, they're just literal strings of fate.
Yeah, you're tied. This is me. This is me pretending to be a puppet.
So on the other end of these strings is fate.
Literally, yeah, pulling those strings. So, but that one, like, again, like what we try to do on this podcast is show not that AI replaces dungeon masters, but it can be used as an assistant, or a tool to help kind of like brainstorm ideas. So that one was like, oh, okay, sentient puppets, and I started to go down the path of being like, oh, what would it be like to have like puppets and have them be like sentient puppets, and then moved into a space of being just like sentient objects in general, or at least moving away from sentient puppets specifically and saying, let's allow the character creation process determine what they would be. And if you were a puppet, then great. And if not, then you could be whatever. That's kind of what that process was like.
Nice.
Is there anything else about character creation that you thought was weird, funny,
It
interesting?
was just unique in general to try to have a character be an object and figure out like how do you make that more than just playing a human rogue. Like playing a rug rogue is way different than playing a human rogue, and what a rug would want versus a human or an elf. Or like going from a human to an elf, it's not that different, right? But yeah.
Don't pick control spells.
Yes.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently not. Sorry.
It's also funny that you were a cleric. It kind of, like, to me, it seems like it should have been like a religious text or something, but it was all like science and stuff. And then
I was a cleric of the knowledge domain.
Oh, okay.
And so we're like the bridge
You're also
between wizards
nerds.
and clerics. Yeah. We care more about science than we do about religion.
we worship science more than scientists. Scientists just believe it. We worship it.
And to your point, Jason, like the idea of like adding a character class to an object, especially in the context of this, now looking back on the actual play portion of it, like the idea of like having a mace or having like equipment with you was not really a thing. So like for you, the idea of like, oh, you're a rogue, but do you have a sneak attack? Like even though you didn't necessarily have a dagger, like we probably could have figured out a way to do it with your threads or whatever.
I was literally just thinking that I didn't use my sneak attack once.
No.
I didn't attack ever. I didn't use hardly any of my rogue skills other than like picking locks and sleight of hand. But
Which I think, of course, if this was like a longer drawn out campaign, then I think that would be more applicable.
For sure.
But I think the way that they kind of like panned out was not the case. Anyway, let's talk about story. Ty, what do you think about the whole storyline and how things went?
Well, I mean, it was a really sad ending for the Codex Reticent because all he wanted was a friend, and
He flew away.
that didn't happen.
You're
And
stuck with this hat.
he never found his brass bookcase. And well, it's open ended. Maybe he did. Maybe she was alive, and
Yeah.
they lived happily ever after.
You're free now, though.
No, yeah, it was interesting because, yeah, like I obviously didn't know where the story was going to go. I don't know how heavily used Alex with that, but it was it was interesting and kind of a cool. During the middle of it, I was a little worried, like I was like, man, okay, so we've made it down a hallway. And cool. Like, where's this gonna go? And it actually all like kind of it was way more solid than I thought it would be, and great for a one-off. Like there's like one-offs normally there's no story, right? Like
you're gonna fight all these things, and then you're gonna go home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was actually pretty great.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, it also kind of makes me happy to think about Alex looking through your past episodes and
seeing stuff we've done in the before.
I remember this because he probably wrote the descriptions. Wait a second. Dream within a dream.
Yeah. No. The take was interesting in the sense that like we've taken this like snippet of life, right, where the wizard has somehow died somewhere else, and that something has happened to him, and it has now activated this process. Some of the things I stuck with exactly what Alex had said, like the idea of this intruder scenario kind of being the case, kind of following with the idea that the intruder is potentially the person that has killed the wizard just somewhere else, and that you were not aware that is what's happened. So this person had come in, has killed the wizard, and is in his mansion, and then you guys, like in a different part of this place or whatever it may be, or even like, you know, maybe it's adjacent but not close to it, it's now triggered the events of being like, okay, he's dead. Now we have to start the ritual that's going to bring him back. So, right? And you guys were the part, like the fact that you came alive is actually part of the whole plan. Like you are supposed to come alive. You're supposed to try to get out, and on your way out, you get caught into this thing, which then, you know, brings him back. But you were all supposed to be on board. He just, wasn't very good about that.
So, So my question is why? I felt like story-wise, Alex is just there's some plot issues that
of course
we can look at, right? So why would you torch the room? Is it just in case the person who killed him is in that room? Is that why?
No, Alex torched the room because I needed a sense of danger in the first bit. That was it.
Yeah,
that's what it came up with.
Yeah. Because it seems to me that I was like, maybe it's torching it, and then he's having the construct then go in and grab the rug and then drag it back and doing that. But if it's just like like if you look at the story, Alex it's like it didn't quite work, right? The torching the room didn't work. Hoping that we would break out of our cases, right?
Yes.
There's no motivation to break out of the case other than the thing, and so like I'm just looking at. If there was a real wizard, why would he set it up that way?
What if he had torched the rug?
Yeah.
So,
but I get.
Yeah, Alex's. In the conversations with Alex and I, what it essentially come down to was the scenario is that these constructs, there were supposed to be more of them, right? And it was supposed to be not
just going through phylacteries,
not just a single hallway, right? And it wasn't just a single hallway; it was actually just part of the whole place. But we eventually got to a single hallway because we essentially had to railroad you to some degree in terms of like going to the right direction. Otherwise, we don't want to spend 4 or 5 sessions just like exploring
pretty
an entire
easy to
place.
Get railroaded when there's just one hall connected to your room.
Nowhere to go, guys.
No doors.
So what Alex and I had was it was supposed to be multiple constructs who were kind of like walking through, and he was like under the impression that you would want to be like sneaking around and not getting caught by them. The torching of the room was intended to destroy the intruders who were there. Anything inside one of these cases was supposed to be safe, but somehow these constructs were supposed to get you and get at least the phylactery specifically and like take them to the ritual so that they can move things forward. So what's weird about it was when you talk about holes, it was both like wanting to have the ritual kind of like be set in motion on its own, but then also putting you guys in a scenario where you're trying to escape but not knowing that you wanted to escape. So what was difficult was there wasn't a solid way of like creating that sense of you needing to be hidden from discovery without knowing explicitly that if you got caught, then you were going to be put into this scenario.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing that we didn't really reconcile before the time that it was today. So I'm just like, all right, we're going to make some changes to this. The constructs are going to be there with the intent of essentially just returning you to your shelf, like to putting you back into where you came from. Right.
And I think it created a situation where it allowed us to discover the story as we went, which is more fun than saying at the very beginning, "Hey, you're a phylactery." And
they're gonna catch you.
They're gonna catch you, and you're gonna do this, and then there's no reveal as you go. So that's nice. I think I've noticed with AI, you can point out plot holes, and when they correct it, they don't really
fill the whole
they don't
hole.
fill the hole very well. They just like,
or they open a new hole somewhere
exactly.
else.
Or say, oh, it works because of X, Y, and Z, and it's like,
no, it doesn't.
So if the wizard
did George Lucas use AI?
Yeah, he did. Only for episodes 1, 2, and 3. No, I'm just kidding.
So if the wizard had come back to life, what would have happened to us?
Yeah, so the way that we had designed, or the way that Alex and I had come to it was, so there's actually 2 parts. If the wizard came back to life, it would have killed Snare for sure. Like, he would have, like, ripped his threads apart, and he would have, like, recombined the actual body of Snare into the wizard and, like compiled them together. And then you guys would have just been fine, like, additional sentient beings who was there. One alternate ending was that that Alex had come up with was that even if you had stopped the ritual, it was going to kill all of you. That, like, essentially your sentience was tied to the wizard.
Yeah.
And if he died, you all died. Like, you thought you were saving yourselves, but in the end, you actually all just it essentially ended with, like, his soul kind of, like, getting evaporated, and then all of the rest of you just kind of, like, returning to objects and just kind of, like, falling to the ground in just a state of quiet. And I was like, that's kind of a fun ending, but it kind of also really would suck to just have everybody just, like, die. Just be like, yes, we did it. We saved the day. And we left remnants in that last bit of, like, having that save of him just, like, as he's exiting to try to, like, pull your guys. But what happened in one of our instances as we were going through iterations was, like, it's just like, you know, I kind of imagined the theatrical moment of him, like, you guys like, yeah, we saved the day. And then you just kind of like, just like crumple to the ground. And then it's just like this quiet room of nothing.
Yeah, because
the
that would
walks
mean,
in like, what?
That would mean the options would be we win, but we really lose.
Yeah.
Or we lose and we really lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really like that for the other thing, but I mean, like,
you lose, we would have been fine.
If I was directing like an A24 movie, like, maybe, okay, that might be a good ending for something like that, right?
I did think it was really interesting because, like, coming into this, I wasn't sure, like, you know, especially like when during the character creation, like, I dug up dirt on, like, you know, the rug and the hat and stuff, and I'm like, okay, but if we're just sentient now, are we, like, how did we have this life before or whatever? And I like that it kind of ended up being like, okay, we just came alive. We still remember, like, and we're starting to remember things when we weren't alive. That was kind of a fun twist. And I feel like that in and of itself was just a really interesting session where it's like our characters don't really like kind of an amnesia trope kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, fun to kind of like discover the stories we went along, and we're still trying to figure out like who's the good guy, who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I did like how he was trying to, now in hindsight, I know he was trying to manipulate us with that mirror, having like all these like, because I was like, we had low wisdom saves. I feel like all of us had low wisdom saves there. So maybe if we had high ones, we would have realized that he was kind of messed up. But instead, we're just like, oh, the good old times of scribbling through my pages.
Yeah, we did go on a pretty good roller coaster ride on, like, the wizard, like, we respect the wizard and then hate the wizard. You know, there's this back and forth throughout the whole thing on what our relationship with the wizard was, which was
good. So the mirrored hallway that you're going through was intended to and was designed to actually give you multiple memories, but of course, you know, for the sake of time and moving things forward, and I kind of actually thought that the combat with the mirrored things was actually going to go until you guys had to defeat them. They had a few other abilities that were kind of cool, like being able to essentially like mirror step through the mirrors to go to different areas, or like do like a shatter type thing that would do like an AoE damage to everybody to make you like really weak as you came into the actual final piece. But there was, the way that it was set up was that every time you looked into the mirror, as you were looking into the mirror every round, you had to essentially make a wisdom saving throw. And if you failed, then it would embed you with these like semi-true but like somewhat false memories of like happy times and like why the wizard would like why you were like, oh, so like the intent of the whole thing is like, oh, you come to sentience, and as you move towards the place to like fulfill your duty and purpose as this phylactery or be a person who's assisting that, or another sentient object that helps like move that along, is that you just kind of get filled with this love and admiration and this ideas of being like, oh yeah, no, the wizard's so good, like what you're saying here, Ty, of just like making you be like, this is the right thing. This is the right thing for us to do, whether it was or not. And we didn't actually come up with a backstory, Alex and I, about whether or not the wizard was good or bad, just that you believed he was, right?
Well, and even like I just realized like the whole contract thing being a red herring that like I guess the Lich put in me so that we wouldn't read the details of what was going on.
Mm-hmm. But in the end, Liches get stitches.
I do like that like Liches like canonically are supposed to be like these masterminds, and like I feel like he just overcomplicated his resurrection.
He did. He didn't really think things through all the way. For the sake of your one shot, he made things completely difficult.
I'll have my phylactery have a will of its own right before so that it can give its life for mine.
It's almost
What could go wrong with that?
a little narcissistic,
what if
right?
the constructs are gone? What if I don't know.
He's like, no, if I made these sentient beings, they would definitely give their lives up for me.
Yeah. And we'll protect everything in the room except for that damn muttering portrait.
My wife gave me that portrait.
Yeah, that was...
He clearly had daddy issues. His dad just muttering in the portrait.
Yeah, I got to know, what was the issue with the portrait? What's going on?
Yeah, so it was...
I kind of wish we would have taken the portrait with us.
Right,
yeah, the way that we had it developed with Alex was the portrait was just like was part of the... Like you could not take the portrait off. Like it was like a significantly high strength check to even pull it down. In retrospect, I kind of regret that I allowed Alex to create so many NPCs in that first section. Because I'm like, I'm not even giving these people voices. We're just going to move along.
Yeah, when Stabitha started talking.
Stabitha. Let's not bring that up again. But to be honest, like I love the idea of a trio set of like a 3-piece set of animate objects, like being just like this like NPC character that like just comes along with you, and having like a fork called Stabitha and like a knife called whatever.
You know what? But the broom was a great NPC, right? Because it couldn't talk.
It couldn't speak.
It reminded me more of like the rug in Aladdin, right?
Yes,
Where it's a character, but I think any DM out there should have magic items like that, which are sentient and can do things but can't talk. So you don't have to do another voice or another character.
Yes.
You can't give information, you can't give thoughts, but you can have this like personality that
But you're always going to have
control.
that one player that tries to make something out of nothing.
Turn it into like a Ouija board so it can start pointing at different.
I'm going to teach you how to write. And I was like, now it's going to write words out. No,
I don't want to talk.
Are the forks talking in Morse code?
What's the Morse code? What is it?
Oh, it was the broom.
Yeah, it's the broom. It
Not
was
the
the broom.
forks.
Yeah, players trying to get.
I was referring to
talk.
myself when I.
Yeah.
no, the broom actually had a name. I can't remember what it was. I was going to see if I could pull it up here. But
Also, there was deeper.
Yeah,
things
I
there.
also liked. We kept on talking about the wizard. It felt very Wizard of Oz to me, like this. There's this wizard who can solve all our problems. That we kept on. I felt like we were with Dorothy and two idiots going along with Dorothy trying to solve the
Wait,
problem.
who was who?
I was Dorothy.
oh my gosh. No, the I can't
Real
find it right now.
quick,
But
who would we be? I feel like I'd probably be the Scarecrow, just dumb as a doormat.
no, I don't think so. Because like the Scarecrow wanted a brain. I think you were probably more like
flight.
You're more like
Maybe
the lion. You wanted
Yeah.
like that
that
strength
courage,
and
the
courage
strength to do things beyond.
beyond whatever it was you wanted to.
Was the book without a brain?
I feel like Lady
I don't
Velen was kind of She thought she was intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a 6.
maybe.
No, just
Yeah, the opposite of the scarecrow story. Thought she was smart, found out she wasn't.
no. I think it was. No, I think it's interesting. I didn't even think about that. The idea of the wizard analogy that you're talking about here.
It was just because Sonia kept on saying the wizard, and yeah, it got me into that.
I saw your
think I
Wicked
was-
reference, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
which is why I see that kind of the wizard reference now manifesting itself in retrospect. Sorry, Ty, you were saying?
I was just gonna say I think I was Toto just because I want to be Toto.
Oh yeah, I understand. The little puppy just kind of.
If we come back,
along.
can I be Toto?
Yeah.
I mean, clearly the broom was Toto.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yes.
Oh, man, we got a deep. Okay, let's. How much time do we have to really dive into this?
I'm done. You're the Tin Man. So Tin Man for Tyler. Sonia would
for
be
Ty.
the.
No, Ty. You got to be.
Oh, Ty.
You
That's
got to
right,
be
Ty.
specific in this
Ty.
room. Okay.
Yeah,
This is one of the
Ty.
few times I'm going to enforce my name.
I would be the lion. Sonia would be the scarecrow, and Tyler would be Dorothy, just leading us on the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's right. I'm leading you
False
on.
promises.
False promises, fake pathway, and a single road.
Yeah.
A single
and his ruby
road.
slippers.
A yellow road or a single hallway that takes you
Yes,
right
yes.
to the wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that kind of like brought the part where Alex kind of choked for me a bit was the double negatives. Seemed to struggle there with what was going on at the end there.
Yeah, the final room was a bit like I know we're trying to stop it, but the mechanics around stopping it got a little like
Yeah, this was a thing that Alex and I kind of struggled with, not because I didn't have a lot of time, because I procrastinated this and did it earlier this afternoon. But because as we were trying to work through it, the AI likes to create solutions to problems that are not well executed in a Dungeons and Dragons scenario, right? Where it'll be things like, and honestly, like this is one that I kind of struggled with, but I just had to run with it because I couldn't come with a thing. But the opening of the mirror, it created a puzzle where you essentially had to say the person's name or a mandrix, and then
we lucked out on that for sure.
it kind of like hid his name in like a certain way that you had to like tell it your fears and your ambitions and your whatevers. And we lucked out in the sense that you were the one who failed to save to be the one trapped into it. And I was like, oh, we can just roll with this because if it was any of the other of you, like I was like, oh, well, how do I pull this out of them?
So I was from the beginning the only phylactery.
You were the only phylactery from the beginning, but you being the one who was like trapped into the mirror. The mirror was supposed to have like some riddles, and then if you answered the riddles in a certain way related to like fear and ambition and doubt, essentially those were the three pieces that we had come up with. Then there was like Alex is like, oh, if they do this and they tell the truth and their true feelings and whatever, then they'll reveal the name. I'm like, okay, well, true feelings is not easily applied to a mechanic in Dungeons and Dragons, right? But
roll for true feelings.
Yeah, but when you got sucked in, I was just like, oh, well, Jason's in. He'll just like say whatever he thinks that he needs to, and then we'll just like reveal it as we go and make it less of a puzzle and just be like, oh, well, you're the phylactery. Come on in, you know?
Calm down.
So
like it would have maybe been like that would have been his fail safe for if we weren't gonna like go along with it.
Yeah. But otherwise, it was like. But my point was that the AI likes to create puzzles. It's like, oh, they do this thing and they have this shard of the mirror, and then if they tell the truth about their greatest fears, then it gets revealed to them. And I'm like, okay, well,
you have
something
to get pretty lucky with the role playing to get that to happen.
Something like super specific with no hints.
Yeah.
With
yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know. So,
but that ended up being the perfect type of puzzle where you don't really get it. But then when you try to solve it, you get it right away. Mm-hmm. And
and it worked.
It's at that level that you want.
And the last piece was we were trying to create essentially the goal was to create a level of tension, right, between like the people who wanted to bring the wizard back and the people who did not. It was supposed to be that there was initially when we got the thing from Alex was that there was ways to stop the ritual, otherwise it continued to go. Right, and I think I kind of followed that a little bit at the beginning when I said, "Oh, I'm going to roll a dice. And we're going to say here," and then as we finagled a little bit, it was like, "No, we can actually create like a like a mechanic that has like a moving things forward on the positive side or moving things forward on the negative side.
Yeah, kind of like death rolls almost.
Yeah, almost like a death
Interactive.
throws. Yeah, which is kind of where we're in, was this point where Snare was tied into this death throws, but that everyone had a mechanism to have some level of influence. Originally written by Alex, you had no mechanism.
Yeah.
It was just like, and I was like, it doesn't seem very fun to be just like
It
stuck
was
in this
it was
scenario.
fun to how do I resist? What skill do you, when you said you can pick a skill,
Yeah.
I was like, well, my highest skill is sleight of hand or stealth.
Mm-hmm.
But then how do you actually justify
Yeah.
make it work? Where's the plan is like, oh, I could do the destroy my sweater thing and make
Yeah.
that work.
I love that was clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good, and I think that's part of Dungeons and Dragons, like rewarding clever decisions and ideas as opposed to just being so rigid, right? But yeah, it was weird. Some of the stuff where it was like there was supposed to be one type of check to move things forward, which was the knowledge and the arcana and whatever, to be like, oh, it's a spiritual, or it's not spiritual, it's a magical thing. So if I use magical knowledge, magical information, I can move it forward. And then the other one was strictly like strength or something else related, where it was non-magical, where it's like you do these things and you could essentially like break it apart or do something else. So we apply that a little bit there of just like, oh, you use your knowledge to find out how it worked, and then you have to like use some strength. It was like a longer contest of challenges where it was closer to like 3 or 4 successes you had to do like consecutive. And if you failed, then when something happened, then there would be some sort of consequence. And like it was weird where it was like, oh, this consequence moved it forward anyways, even when you're trying to move it forward.
Yeah.
That was just bad AI giving me some stuff that
Classic
just didn't make
AI
sense.
is what that's called. Not
Oh yeah,
bad.
classic AI in its current state giving me essentially a conflict, which was weird. But yeah, that's how that was intended to work. And then depending on whether or not you saved the people from behind, every person, as we had designed, every person that you saved to bring with you was always going to be on the side of the wizard, no matter what happened. So what was intended to be is like, depending on how many people you chose to save, would have made that last encounter easier or harder for you, because they were either going to work towards the wizard side and like, unless you decided to help the wizard, right? Then it would have been like, oh yeah, no, this is good. And then it would have pit you against each other. But
So that picture was going to be like a level 20 dragon.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's why it was so hard to get off.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks.
Anyway, other comments, thoughts, Sonia, from you, maybe? Just about the whole thing, just the one shot as a whole. Anything you just really loved about it, or anything you really hated about it?
This was my second one shot that I've done, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah. Trying to think what else to
I
say.
normally
Very descriptive.
Thank you.
This is my second.
I normally drag her through my long, unending campaign.
she's like, I played one session that is 13 years long,
That's right.
Exactly.
and then 2 one shots. No. Ty, what about you? Thoughts you want to add overall? Just a general closing thoughts about the whole experience.
I mean, this isn't related to AI, but I was starting to really get into the musical. We were all just starting to sing. And
Oh yes,
me not knowing how to sing, I shouldn't have joined in, but it was a party. It was cool. Like, and with me running my campaign, like I've started kind of trying to use GPT to try to save on time on a few things, like writing, like I had this pirate and they found a journal and, things that they find. I'm like, I haven't thought about what's in the journal and I don't want to. And then like,
I've got a full-time job and writing a pirate journal is not
and like I can do a good job at some of those things. And then you can go through it and kind of fix it if you need to, or like it's very interesting seeing what it can do to help kind of spark. It's kind of great for D&D, right? Because like D&D, you're not trying to like make some sort of award-winning like
Novel
Pulitzer
or
Prize session. You're wanting to get something interesting that you can play and kind of riff off of, and I feel like it does a really good job with that. And it was fun to kind of get to see that in action.
yeah.
It kind of at a more live like situation, instead of like just prepping with it sometimes.
I think that one of the the best ways that I see is that for like I know some people have conversations about like whether or not AI is like replacing jobs or taking away creativity, and I understand there's lots of debates around that.
There's good arguments.
And there are good arguments. There are valid arguments about using it to create entire stories or write entire books or do whatever it is. There's a lot of legitimate arguments, especially there's arguments about like how the data came and how they populate and train those models. And part of the reality is that AI is here, whether you like it or not. But the piece that I like about using AI is for Dungeons and Dragons is like filling in those edges that make the difference in some cases between like a hollow world versus one that kind of like feels more tangible, right? And being able to do that kind of real time is really cool. Not that it takes away from you, because it's like the idea of like, oh, you still came up with the idea that they're pirates. You still came up with the idea that it's a pirate journal, but like, you don't want to write every entry and being able to like say, hey, just give me an entry and be like, oh well. And players, I'm gonna flip to a random page and open it up and tell me what it says. It's like, okay, well, great. Now here I am, right here in front of you, and there's 7 other people at the table, and they're just looking at me like, what does it say?
You talk yourself into a corner sometimes. And AI can help dig you out sometimes. No, yeah, and it's cool that like, because D&D, part of the beauty of it, playing it too, is the idea that you can, kind of help contribute and make the story, right? And so that's one thing, like with modules can be great, but then like you're really limiting player choice there because there's only so many things that you can do that are written in the module. And so usually, DMs will kind of add their own things if they need to. But if you're trying to create your own world, like AI is great because you want them to have options to do things. You don't want to have to think up the backstory for every waitress at every tavern that they might want to engage with and might not, and then you just.
But at the same time, you don't
if they don't.
You don't have to take every suggestion either, right?
Right.
You're using AI as brainstorming.
Exactly.
I was talking to Tyler earlier today about how AI is almost like if you look at Dungeons and Dragons as improv acting and playing. All AI is the people in the audience yelling out ideas to get the ball rolling, and then you jump in and turn those things into something real. So
and it's a like kind of a fun gimmick in and of itself. Like I think that's why this podcast is cool, is because it's like almost like adding a new dimension to the game where you're like, it kind of makes it fun. Like, oh, we're playing with AI deliberately to get some of its like wonky suggestions and stuff and roll with it and take it to places we wouldn't have gone without it. It's kind
that
of
aspect's a lot of fun.
Cool. Jason, any last comments?
No, just we really appreciate those of you that listen to the podcast, and if you can, just take a moment today and give us a nice star review and share some words. And we don't have a budget to do any marketing. We don't have anything like that. So all the word of mouth will take. If you can give us a like, a share, or whatever, we really do appreciate it. So
we do. Thanks so much.
If we reach 1 million likes by next week, Jason will perform the full I Believe I Can Fly.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll post it on TikTok.
I will do that. I promise I will. And we'll have the moles back again.
Yeah. That's it. Your vote will determine whether or not we invite the moles back. So if after this season we see no reviews, we'll never invite them again. They won't be able to come. In fact, we're going to delete their contact information from our phone.
We're going to have a ton of comments. It's all from the moles.
Slow your roll,
so
guys.
Handsome and pretty on the podcast. How did you do that?
He's hung like a tapestry.
You guys might need to slow your roll. I don't know if the audience wants us back.
Okay, I tell you what. If we have other comments, also 5 stars, that discourage us from bringing the moles, we will also do the same thing. We'll count
Maybe
them up.
Alex can help us sort this out. He's good at this kind of thing with the.
You guys are like AI. We'll do whatever you say.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks everyone for joining us on season 14 of Adventure AI. We'll see you in the next one.